Hey everybody, it's Joey. I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm so excited. Today's the first day of our 3-day Peace on Earth craft along. So you could pre-order this kit and craft along with me, and I sent you all the pre-cut, scored, everything done for you, except what's in the bundle. Everything else was done for you. Supplies for this. Now, the PDF's also still available if you're interested in that. And I actually have 3 kits left. So if you're interested in that, there is a link below the video on YouTube, and there's a link above the video on Facebook. It's most reliable to find me on YouTube because Facebook doesn't keep our recordings, and they don't let me link very much either in the video description. But if at the end of this video you're like, I went in on that kit, I still have 3, so don't wait though, because I think they'll go pretty quickly. They did the last time. All right, if you are here, I would love for you to say hello. I'm seeing a couple thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me. And you can see clearly. I've had a few technical issues with my streaming software. They updated it about 3 weeks ago, and it has been a challenge to reconnect my phone the way it needs to be connected, my laptop, and then my streaming program. So let's see. Julie's here. Hi, looking forward to this too, Julie. I'm excited about it. So make sure you comment when you come on, because the past few weeks I've been giving a prize on a prize wheel. If you comment in, okay, let me get my words in front of my brain. If you comment, the more you comment, every comment gets a ticket in the prize drawing. And then I've been announcing those on Sunday afternoon in my Sunday scoop. So don't be shy. Jump in, say hi, let us know what you're enjoying, let us know where you're from. Are you crafting today? I would love to know. And I'm checking here. Okay, now I'm seeing people comment. Awesome. Okay, let me put my glasses on so I can actually read. They're so glary. I try to leave them off until I have to see. Hi, Donna. Welcome from Canada. Hi, Jackie. So nice you could be here live with me today. All righty, my friends. We are going to get started. I'm going to click you down to my desktop, and we are going to start stamping. Okay, now, let me show you what we're using today, in case you're not familiar with it. We're using the Peace on Earth stamp set. Now, notice there are there's no images, just the words, but such beautiful sentiments, sending love, heartfelt prayers, and there is a Christmas. I call this Christmas. I don't really use that any other time of year, the Peace on Earth sentiment. So we are going to make a couple Christmas cards too as we go. And the dies for this are really the star of the show, because the little doves and the vine, the little envelopes, and these little stars are, and this little branch, we use that with the doves. These labels, these 2 labels are worth the dies alone. I've just used them so much for these projects and then for other projects, but that's our bundle that we're using today. I do have that linked below the video. If you want to, if you're interested in purchasing that bundle or anything I'm using today, there is a link below the video that lets you know. So you just click more at the bottom of the screen, and it will take you to all those links. All right, so if you pre-order the kit, or if you get one of my last 3, let me put that aside for a second. You got a half a pack of this 3 colors of glimmer paper. There's Cloud Cover, Misty Moonlight, and Secret Sea. You got a half a pack of the, I'm sorry, my DSP is such a mess. I've gone through almost 2 whole packs of it, but you got a half a pack of the, what is this called? It's not called Peace on Earth. Peaceful Garden, because there's a lot of floral and leaf images in this. DSP. Of course, yours didn't look like this. Yours was perfect if you pre-ordered it, or if you get the kit. A whole pack of these. These are the ones I'm using today, so I didn't pull a whole new pack, but you would get a whole new pack, and then a whole bolt of this gorgeous ribbon. This ribbon is so, so pretty. I hope you're going to fall in love with it today. Well, I think you will, like I did. It's so pretty, and it's so shiny and sparkling. You also got a kit that looked like this. So it lets you know what the kit is. So I have this label on the front, and then all of your each card or project is in an envelope of its own. Now I've got mine out here to, I have my finished cards in it, and I've also cut my DSP today, because even if you're crafting along with me, I have that done ahead of time. You'll need to cut your own designer series paper. But other than that, everything else is done for you. So we're going to start with this card. Oh, one more thing. So I also send a little gift. I like to send a little something to my customers that take that order my kits. So this I sent. This has a pack of, and I don't have any here. I just have the box, but there are these 4 Oreo cookies. So I also sent that. So if you want to snack while you're crafting along, if you pre-purchase the kit, then you've got some cookies too. I was looking for something blue, and I was pleased when I could find the Oreo cookies. All right, now you also were sent a PDF tutorial. Now, I didn't do the front cover of mine, but you have a front cover that shows the whole project so that you know exactly what your tutorial is. And I did this with my friend Alejandra Gomez. She's such a beautiful crafter and stamper and so creative. So I did 4 projects, she did 4, and then I put them all in our tutorial. So if you have this, you can follow along with me. I'm gonna do the exact order of the tutorial. So it has the measurements, it has the detailed instructions, and it has supply lists on every project so that you can recreate it and know what we use. So I'm gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna pull out all my bits here and see what we've got going. Let me see. I did all of my die cutting, or at least I intended to do all of my die cutting ahead of time. Let's see. Yep, there's some little bits in here. These little tiny branches. I'm hoping both of them show up. I almost didn't die cut them ahead of time because they're so tiny, and I can only see one, and I know I die cut 2. But you know, they're so little. I thought there's a good chance I won't end up with both of them, finding both of them in my kit when I go to recreate it. But we can either die cut another one, or we can just look at the samples so you know what it looks like. Okay, I'm not seeing my other little tiny twig. That's right. If we have time, we'll see how our time's going, and then I'll either do it or not do it on camera. But it's on the PDF, and it's in the you have the okay, Joey, words. I can talk usually. Okay, let's start this again. You have the sparkle paper. You have everything you need in your kit. I just pre-cut mine. So everything you see here, you have the bits for, if the bundle included the dies, I didn't pre-cut those, but I did everything else for you. Okay, so now this card has a base of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and let's just start there. I'm excited about today. I feel like I'm kind of rushing my thoughts and words because I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Allie and I started planning this like 6 weeks ago, maybe longer. So we gave you time we made our samples. She made a graphic for our class, and let's see, this DSP is 4 by 5 1/4. That's all in the tutorial. And I don't know if I said you can buy the tutorial, or you can, as I said, there are still 3 kits left, but you can always buy the tutorial. There's no limits on that, only actually the kits. So you're going to first fold this piece like a Z, because this is going to open like this. Like so. So not like this. Yeah, that's right. So this one is going to be like this, and that's how this one is. So let's get this part all together first, or most of it, before we move on. You have a piece in your kit that is going to be on the inside of this. I think it's 2 3/4 by 4, but I'm not going to measure it right now just because we're going to keep moving on. Let's go ahead and stamp. Let me have to look at my sample for a second. On this piece, we're going to stamp wishing you peace, love, and joy. So let me find all that. Here's peace, love, and joy. And there's a wishing you somewhere, wishing you. We're only using today 2 colors of ink. I think those are the only 2 we actually used for the whole craft along. All 8 projects, there are 8 projects, so we've got 3 days of video. Today's the first one. So Misty Moonlight and Secret Sea. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this greeting on the inside with Secret Sea. Now, I will look up occasionally and check your comments. If I miss them, I'll come back and I'll say hello or answer your questions or comment back. I always do. Sometimes it's later in the day. Sometimes it's the next day or 2. But I always come back and visit with you as well, even if I don't do it on live video. Oh, you know what I did, you guys? Okay, I forgot. Now, I made these cards at least 7 weeks ago, maybe 8. So, I forgot something. Okay. Now, this whole thing won't fit, as you could just see, and I forgot how I did this. So, what I did is, since these are photopolymer, I can see through here and just ink my peace and love. And I'm just kind of laying it on my ink pad. And then it won't stamp. Then I can make everything fit. So I'm just going to do peace and love right here in the middle. And then we'll clean our ink. We'll clean our stamp. Make sure it's really, 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 really clean. I'm going to actually grab my my cloth here too, because I just don't want any blue ink anywhere we don't really want it. All right, now I'm going to do the end of the word, which is enjoy and joy. Just tap, tap, tapping, making sure I don't get the ink on the E. So I'm right at the edge there. Now I'm going to stamp right under here, kind of line it up. Yay, we did it. I forgot about that. I went to stamp it and went, well, that's not going to work. Let's figure out how to make this fit. Now, wishing you, let me get this on here. When you're inking your photopolymer stamp, you just want to tap, tap, tap really lightly. If you're using art, so these are our foam cushion, wishing you peace, love, and joy. I love that. What am I trying to say? These are the cushiony types of ink pads. Now, our Memento Black is a felt ink pad, and you do have to tap harder and more on those. But for our colored ink pads that are in our color families, you just tap, 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 especially photopolymer, because they don't have that extra rubber sponge layer that our clean red rubber stamps have. So just have to be careful with that. Okay, now we're going to put on this middle panel like so. So that looks pretty when people open it. Same pack of paper. All the paper we used is in those 2 packs of paper. The glimmer paper and the Peaceful Garden Glimmer paper and the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. Okay, so there's that part of it. Now we can go ahead and put the front DSP on it too. And I will give you these measurements. They are 2 3/4 by 4. Yeah, that's what I thought they were, but I didn't want to say that until I took a chance or took a moment to measure it. So all these 3 pieces, these 2 pieces of DSP and then that greeting panel are 2 3/4 by 4. This piece is got to be 4 1/4 by 9, right? Yes, 4 1/4 by 9. I scored it at 3 and 6. So there's that guy. All right, now just to make it easier, we're going to tie the bow around now. So there's a bow on the front of this, and I'm going to take my ribbon. If you're not a lover of tying bows, I didn't used to be at all, you could just tie this in a knot, or you could leave it off. If you're like, I just don't really want to have to deal with a bow. So when I tie a bow, I wrap it around, and then I try and pull my ends perpendicular like a cross. Then I'm going to put my fingers under here, and I'm holding it down with my index finger. Of course, whenever I try to show how to make a bow, I mess up. There we go. And then I just pull it through, trying to keep that middle knot right there flat. And that's what makes a pretty bow. Isn't that ribbon just stunning? I think this ribbon is so pretty. We haven't had anything exactly like this ribbon. Of course, Misty Moonlight's a super popular color as well. Looking for my ribbon scissors. I have one that's actually sewing scissors. Our snips are very sharp as well, but I've used mine so much on paper that they don't always cut ribbon dependably. So I have my special, that's my mom's sewing scissors that I got from her sewing stash when she passed away. Okay, I'm going to pull this. So that's how that ribbon looks. I'm going to pull it up just a tiny bit. Okay, now in your kit would have been a piece of white cardstock that you would have needed to cut this label out with, and we're going to stamp Peace on Earth. This is going to be a Christmas card, obviously. It does help also to get a good image with your photopolymer to stamp them on your Stampin' Pierce mat. These are very inexpensive. And they're well worth the investment. In fact, they're almost, I would say they're necessary when you're stamping with photopolymer stamps. Not every image will not stamp well without the mat, but especially words are probably going to stamp okay. Now I'm looking for my, how do I lose everything? My Secret C ink pad. But I highly recommend it. You could try a magazine if you don't have one and you've got photopolymer stamps, but you need some kind of a cushion. Oops, that didn't ink very well. You can look through your stamp before you actually stamp and make sure everything's covered with ink. I'm going to go pretty much in the middle of this, like so. But truthfully, these two label stamps are so nice because they layer so nice, one on top of the other, and one makes a mat for the other. So I've used them a lot, as I said, even with other stamp sets. So we've got this. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and put this on our base card. This is not a hard card. It's a little bit fancy, but it isn't hard. So we're going to go like this, and that's how our card's going to open. And I'm going to grab my glue. I would suggest liquid glue for this. I'm looking at my, you know what? Hang on. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the front of our card because there's some details on this. Let's get this guy on the front first. So this is going to go kind of like this. I'm going to center it. I'm going to get some dimensionals out, using up some that I'm at the end of. I just make random cuts on them and around the edges so I don't waste any of it. Okay, we're going to get this guy on pretty much centered on this panel here. Fits really nicely this particular size, I think. All right, now let's grab our little doves. We've got one flying up here with a little stem and one down here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this guy on down here. Well, you know what? Hang on one more time. Oh, here I do have both of my little branches. So what I'm going to do for these guys is I'm going to lay this aside for a moment and get my little doves out here. And then I'm going to, this one is going to go this way. This one is going to go this way. So one is holding it by the stem. The other one is holding it, well, I guess they're both holding it by the leaves. But I just kind of looked at what Stampin' Up! Did for theirs. Now, I don't remember. I think I put adhesive backing on these. Boy, you think you could remember like back a couple of weeks, several weeks ago, but I'm going to see. I might not have. Usually I forget about it and then I don't do it. I thought I did it for these. Let's try this again. Of course, on video, it's not going to come off. Yeah, I did. Okay. So I did die cut these on adhesive sheets. Well, did I? Yeah, I did. To make it a little bit easier to glue. If you don't use that and you have a fine tip glue pen, we're going to stick this like this so it looks like he's holding the twig in his beak. Kind of like so, maybe. Like this. Kind of looks like he's holding, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and now let's get the adhesive backing off of this one. If you have adhesive backing, I don't usually often use it very much, but these are so tiny that I thought, just for even the sake of video, let's not try and use the glue dot on these, or I mean liquid glue. Okay, so now this guy is going to hold this in his beak like, kind of like that. Oops. I'm holding my breath just to get this down. Well, let's put this down a little bit further. Like, maybe like that. No. I kind of want the whole branch to show because that's the pretty glittery part. So I'm putzing with this. If you're watching a replay, you might want to just go grab a coffee while I'm dinking around with this. Okay, I got her done. Now let's go ahead actually now and put this on our card, and then we'll get our little doves on there. We can tell how to line up everything so it looks nice and balanced. Let's grab our liquid glue. I promise I'll check your comments. I'm not ignoring you, but I do want you to comment. If you just joined us, the more you comment, the more entries you get into my prize drawing this week. Funny, 2 weeks ago, my friend Diane Lombard from South Dakota, I'm sure I got this right, yes, that's right, was the winner. And then this past week, let's see, Kathy Sanborn was next. She's a faithful watcher and commenter. And then this week was my other friend from South Dakota, who Diane and she are good friends, and that's Shirley Redmond. So they have earned one, I should say, the prize. How did this guy go? Oh, he goes down here, on here. Okay, so they won the prize drawings. I put them actually on, it's a free online prize wheel, and I just, see, how should this go? I think it should go up here. I just put all the names in, and it spins it and picks a winner randomly. So the more you enter by commenting, the better chance you have to. I'm trying to look at my sample. How did I do this? I kind of did it like, whoops, we need to take the backing off. Oh, I guess I did. Didn't feel like it was sticking, so thought I'd better check it. I'm going to, now this doesn't matter, or does it? No. The wing can go past that fold because when they open it, it's going to open like this, so it's not going to have to bend there. And then kind of same with this guy, as long as you don't go past the bottom of your card. Let me get in the center here. So, whoops, oh, come on, seriously. We spent such a long time getting this just right, and it's showing his beak. Put Put it right on his beak. Okay, then let's get ahead and use these guys up. And so probably like right here for this guy. Just kind of fitting him on that label there. I think we need a mini dimensional under him to give him a little more stability. So if you're crafting along with me after the live, put this little dimensional, this mini dimensional on your dove before you stick him to the front of your card like I did. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I just think this is one of the most beautiful sweets Stampin' Up! Has given us. And they've given us a lot of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful products over the years. Alrighty. Let's get some of these pretty. These are called Hues of Blue flowers. So we're going to go ahead and put some on here. This stamp set, you know, even though it has a Christmas greeting in it, it is very usable all year long because it's really, even though there's a Christmas greeting, it's really about, whoops, I think I need to move, hold on. I'm going to move this down just a touch. If you don't smash them down, you can usually move them just a little bit, and I need room for this guy up here. Well, guess he's going to have to go there. It doesn't matter. There's our finished card, Hues of Blue flowers. They can be used all year long, as well as all of these sentiments and these sweet doves. And there is our first card. So, how do you like this one? I think it's really pretty, and it has a little bit, it has a fun fold, so that always adds a little bit of interest. So, and I don't know if you can see the sparkly blue, but it's really pretty in person. Okay, friends, we're ready to go on to our next one. So, in the PDF, I'm going to move on to the next card, which, as I said earlier, this set is you can use this all year long because, in particular, there's this sympathy greeting in it. So we're going to make this card, and it's going to be a sympathy card. Let's go ahead and get this one made. Alrighty, so let's pull everything out of our envelope. Again, in your kit, there would have been the full card base. It would be scored for you. There will be cardstock for your any die cuts from the set. Cardstock white and Secret C cardstock, and then you'll cut your own DSP. I would have cut this one for you. This goes in this inside panel, and I want to say it's 2 3/4. Yes, it's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So those are our bits. If I cut everything correctly, those are our bits for this card. Now, this is another fun fold. I'm going to just fold it on the normal place, which is 4 1/4. This is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. Then it's also scored from the edge at 1 1/4. It should be. Let me check. Yep, 1 1/4. Then this guy is going to fold back like this. Now, you've seen me make this card if you've watched me at all, and sometimes we leave this open and put something here, kind of like our other card, but this one, we're going to actually glue it shut. So I'm going to take my DSP, and I'm going to go ahead and put these pretty doves down here on the left. I don't know, is there a right or wrong? I think that maybe looks better. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of an edge both on the top and the left side, about 1/8 of an inch. Now this isn't covered, but we don't care because we're going to close this. Let's make sure it's really tight. So let's go ahead and we're going to use glue for, one step before that. There, you have a strip of 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch Secret C glitter. That's in your pack of paper because you have the whole half of the Secret C of the Peaceful Garden Glimmer paper. Let's grab our mat, and then what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to take Stampin' Seal Plus. I think it'll hold, yeah, well, no, I know. You could use that. I think I'm going to use glue because it holds to glimmer so well. We're going to just do And that also gives me a moment. Glue gives you just a moment to move it as well. Since it doesn't dry right away, which is one reason I don't always use it for video, it trying to think how I did this. I know it goes on the edge like this. I'm just trying to see the best way to not get glue anywhere that I don't want it. I think I'm going to do, sorry guys, kind of getting discombobulated. Let's do it like this. I'm just going to lay this on the edge, and then I'm going to turn it over to make sure. I want just about 1/8 of an inch to show. So now that it's kind of glued on there, I can kind of move it so just a little bit shows and kind of peeks out there. Obviously, I like glitter. If you want it wider or narrower or leave it off, I can't imagine why you want to leave it off. And I know it's not as sparkly on the screen. Now we're going to fold this back, and then we have that pretty blue strip there. So let's go ahead. Let's use liquid glue again and get this taped down pretty well. Now try to not touch that glimmer paper much because I don't want it to move. And then maybe a little bit of glue here. Remember, less is more with liquid glue. That's why I think people go to war with liquid glue, because they just use too much and it gets over everything. And it does get all over everything. It's really easy to do that. So just be gentle with it and don't press too hard. We're going to let that sit. Let's do our inside greetings while that sits for a moment. We're going to stamp here heartfelt prayers. And let me grab, got to get some of this other stuff out of the way. So heartfelt prayers. Where are those? That is, maybe I didn't mount that one. Let me check. Hang on. We got our stamp set here. Might not have put that. Oh, right here, Joe. Okay, so let's switch this out. Now let's do heartfelt prayers. This one does fit all the way across here, so let's just go ahead. I'm going to grab Secret C again. Such a pretty deep navy. You'd think, why it look, well, we already have Night of Navy. Why do we need another navy? But this one is much deeper, and it's more gray. I don't know how to explain that very well, but it's actually Night of Navy looks pretty bright next to Secret C. Okay, heartfelt prayers. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now, let's go ahead. Well, we've got ink out, although I just put it away. Let's go ahead and stamp with Sympathy on the front of this. Let me get out my mat again. Get this out. I try to make sure I stick in the picture. Oh, I'm getting more people watching and more thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. We're going to turn this sideways. This is the smaller of the two labels. There are the two labels in there, and we're just going to stamp the Sympathy greeting with deepest sympathy on this card. This is a very easy fun fold as well. And I'm going to stamp this just to the left. Whether you're a seasoned stamper or a new stamper, this is a very easy fun fold. And it just adds a little variety to your card making, and it makes it kind of fun to switch it up once in a while. All right, so let's leave that there. Close that. Now, we're going to mount this. This is what I was saying about how nicely these two work together. Let's go ahead and just use our tape runner to glue one to the other. I know that doesn't show up very well because it's on a dark mat, but this is what it looks like. And I stamped it to the left because we're going to put the branches and all those things to the right. Now, this is set for long enough, so we're going to be fine to go ahead and glue this down. Let's do this DSP first. So the stars DSP is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to let, again, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, like so. And then we're going to put our greeting in, too. These colors are very peaceful. I just think they really are. I like blues a lot. I do actually use blue fairly often for Christmas, some Christmas cards. Whoops, that's crooked. That is crooked. Hang on, hang on, hang on. So I definitely will use this for some of my Christmas cards. I also like the Peace on Earth greeting. So here's what we have so far. And then I'm going to put our sparkly banner there, or greeting rather. Before we go any farther, let's put these branches on. Now again, I have all my die cutting done. You have this paper in your kits if you pre-order the kit, or if you order this kit now. As I said, if you just joined us, I do still have three kits, but when those are gone, they're gone. All right, now for this branch, what I did is I did venture with liquid glue on this one. The branches are a little bit bigger than that teeny tiny one, and I'm just going to put a dot like towards, I don't want it on the very outside edges of this because I don't really like all my branches glued down. Just tiny, tiny dots. Remember, less is more with liquid glue. Bring this up. I should use my take your pick tool putty end. And then we're just going to lay this across, and it's going to stick out on the tag, but it's also going, oops, lips wants to move. It's not stuck down really well. But it also will be protected by the bulk of the card. It shouldn't get too bent up. We'll do the same with this one. Just go ahead and a few tiny dots, and I mean tiny. And if you get too much, you can just spread it around with a tip and then put it on a different one. Just a little bit, a little bit. I know you can't see it, but these are tiny, tiny dots. Let's just do a little tiny bit. Okay, this time I am going to use my take your pick tool because why not? It has a putty end on it. If you don't have one of these, they come in very handy for things like this when you don't really want to touch it too much because you're going to get glue on your hand. And there we start the war with liquid glue. And I'm just going to lay this one a little bit across this. Isn't that pretty? Just think it's so simple, but it's really pretty. And then, oh, we forgot one more. Let's let that sit for a minute, actually. We forgot one more DSP. We used a lot of DSP combinations on these cards. Allie is really good at that. I think it's one of her best talents. She's really good at combining colors and patterns together. You know, I've said before, if I get 2 patterns of DSP on my paper, I'm doing pretty good. But I've been learning from her that you can do 3 or even sometimes 4 patterns if you vary the type of pattern they are. And these are all quite different. So we've got the dark background with the light blue stars, the cloud cover stars. We've got a bigger misty moonlight one with pops of the white dove. And then we have this very leafy berry pattern. And I do think they look nice together. So now we're going to go ahead and get our label. Sometimes the words just don't come. They're in my brain. Well, maybe they're not in my brain. I think they're in my brain, but it just takes a while to get to my mouth. I had a whole pack of new dimensionals here. Do you think I can see it? Here it is. Okay. I was hiding underneath my mini dimensionals. All right, now make sure if you're following along crafting with me that you don't put any adhesive past this fold. So we want to make sure we're over on this side, the left side of that fold. And I'm just kind of feeling to where there's no dimensionals. well, there wouldn't be any dimensionals there anyway. There's just that fold, which is a little bit bulky. But I want this to be glued down pretty well because this is obviously the opening of the card. So let's grab our take your pick tool again. Take these off. I promise I'll look at your comments. Don't quit commenting because I'm not reading them, because I will read them. I'll probably check them in just a few minutes after I finish this card. Okay, so now we just want to make sure, I'm not going to actually close it yet, that there's no dimensionals right there. So I'm going to close this, and I can pretty much center it top to bottom and then right to left. And then, isn't that so pretty? I just think the paper, everything with this set is just so pretty. It was very, very fun and satisfying designing with it. Now for this card, I chose Secret Sea flowers, so I'm going to put one down here. I'm going to put one up here. And I think I probably would have put another one. I don't know if it fell off or not, but let's put two down here and then one on the top. They're shiny. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can see it a little bit in the video, but there's our second card. So I really love having sympathy cards on hand because I don't like to make them when I need them. Does that make sense? I just, you know, you want to, first of all, get them in the mail right away, and second of all, it's just nice to have them done. Okay, so there's our first two cards. We're going to move on to our third card. This is heartfelt prayers, sending love. So we're going to make this one is next in your PDF. So let me pull this out. Okay, I think that's good. And put those aside. We'll get this one out. This one's really easy. There's a lot of people have made a variation of this one because this basic card layout is in the the holiday mini catalog. So a lot of people have kind of done this kind of a sort of pattern. I switched mine up. I didn't copy it exactly, but the idea of the glimmer paper behind the DSP is what Stampin' Up did on one of their cards, and then I've seen other people do it. We're going to do the inside first for this card. So you would have cut your DSP, if you cut yours ahead of time, to, you know what, before we stick anything down, let's take a breath and let's do our inside greeting. So if we muck it up, we can turn it over and use the other side without having to cut another piece of cardstock or pulling it out once it's already glued down. Back to Secret Sea. And, oh, I'm seeing some hearts. Thank you very, very much. Sending love. I know that this piece is going to be down here, so I want to stay away from getting it too low. Usually I kind of put my greetings right in the middle anyway. So I'm going to do the bigger word first, which is what I usually do if I have two words to stamp. I don't know, it helps me position it better, I feel like. Now sending. And then we're just going to, I like to line up my card as well with the, this is not straight. We don't need that anymore. With the grid paper when I'm stamping greetings, I feel like it helps me kind of use my peripheral vision to get it straight. I don't know if that really works that way, but we're going to say it does and call it good. All right, now I also have a strip, or did I cut it for this card? Yes, I did. Okay, this is a piece of the cloud cover glimmer. So pretty. So I kind of did the same thing we did on that last card, and I lined it up like this, just to make a pretty, pretty, pretty inside, like so. So let's get our silicone mat back out right here. And then, let's see, this is going to go here. I don't think these leaves actually have any direction, but we'll just go ahead and make this side the one that's going to be glued. Wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, is that right? Let me think for a moment. Yes, that's right. Gosh, for a minute I went, what did we do here? All right, I'm just going to put a thin, again, a thin, thin, very thin line of glue there. You could use tear and tape if you're more comfortable with using another kind of adhesive that isn't glue. You could use tear and tape for this. You also could use Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, so we want about an eighth of an inch maybe. I'm going to let a little bit more show because on my first one you don't really see it very much and it's so pretty. We don't want to, whoops, we don't want to miss the bling. That's the only thing with glue. It does take it a moment. I probably should use tear and tape for our card today, just because of video, so you don't have to wait. Now, let's do, I'm going to try not to move this glitter paper on my DSP while I put more, oh, Joey, it keeps moving. Okay, so let's try this again. Doesn't want to stick. We didn't have trouble before, but we were also going to cardstock. DSP has a little, let's do it like this so I can see better, has a little bit of a, more of a slickness to it than cardstock does. Okay, just gonna, we might need to let this sit for a moment. Let's let that sit. It's all good, it's all done. We can put it together in a minute, but let's move on with our card and let that sit for a moment. So for the front of this card, now I'm trying to find, where is my dove for this one? We might be, no, here it is. Okay, perfect. I've got everything, including those teeny tiny envelopes. So now let's actually just go ahead and put the front on our card. Again, this is Secret C. It is, again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4 on the long side. Go ahead and burnish that really well. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and put this on. Now, this one I embossed with oh, what is this called? Let me look on my list. It's Peaceful Greenery and 3D embossing folder. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use glue for this as well. We're not putting any ribbon or anything behind it, so we can just glue it right down. I do squiggly motions because I feel like that gives me places to put my fingers as opposed to making a straight line. A little tip with liquid glue. All right, let's grab my take your pick tool to help pick this up. There we go. And I'm kind of looking to see where the glue is and trying to avoid it. It's not on the very, very, very tip. This piece of white, basic white, is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to gently press that down. I really like the Secret C with the stark white. I think it's really pretty. Okay, now for your glimmer paper, what I'm going to do is, I did cut this, so when I cut my own, I cut it like the one long strip. You can see these don't match up. I was trying to keep them so they were matching up, but I don't think we're going to worry about that today, although here I am worrying about it. That goes like that, kind of, I think. And then this one, we've got a light blue leaf that goes there. And then this one, I'm just kind of lining up this print. We're going to call, that's not quite right. This way, I'm not sure that's right, but what I did is I cut this big piece first, and then I cut the inches so I could kind of match them up, so I could match them up. No one's going to notice that but you and me, and no one else is going to notice that. Now for this, I am going to use Stampin' Seal Plus, if I can find it. There we go. And I'm going to put the outside pieces on first. So I'm going to leave just a little piece of glimmer showing. So this is probably even less than 1/8 of an inch. And then they're all 3 inches. So both the glimmer paper and all of these. Now I'm going to take the next outside one. I find it helps me get them a little bit more straight. Now I'm not going to push this down very hard as well because I might have to rearrange them just a touch. So then these are going to go like so. Yep, that looks about right. Looks like we got the margins about right. I thought it was so pretty the way Stampin' Up! Did it. I'm not going to press that down yet. Whoops, whoops, let's go crooked. With the glimmer paper being the same height as the DSP. And then just peeking out. That looks pretty good. I think we need to straighten up this end piece a little bit more. This needs to come in just a touch. And you can pull it off of the glimmer paper pretty easily if you use Stampin' Seal Plus like I did, because it's not going to stick super well. But by the time you get everything down on your card, this is a little crooked. Let me just straighten this up. It'll stay together, so don't worry about that. It doesn't have to endure a Florida hurricane, so it's going to be okay. So there we go. Now, I know this isn't nearly as pretty on camera as it is in person, but it's really, really pretty. Then we're going to put it down here. I am going to put this up with dimensional. So let's grab, not the minis, I don't think we need those. Let's grab some of these bits yet. Stick them on here. And then do you think I can see my other dimensionals? How do dimensionals disappear? I just want to know the answer to that. Here they are. I think it's just called Facebook Live. Or maybe it's called all the time stamping, because I do know that when I'm stamping alone here, I can't find stuff either. Oops. I'm just going to take off the backing of these. And all these are easy cards, you guys. They might look complicated, but they're really not. They take some time to get ready, but they're not hard. Okay, I'm just centering this top to bottom and right to left, like so. Let's stamp our greeting, heartfelt prayers. And this is going to go this direction on here. Let's get our mat back out. We don't need this one. We just need this one. Let's do heartfelt prayers. We're going to use Secret C again. I guess I only use Secret C on these. Some of my other projects I used Misty Moonlight. So, and if you haven't signed up for my email list, make sure you do. I'll probably send the PDF for this project to my newsletter subscribers this week. That was a thought I had this morning, but I do send free tutorials pretty often. Heartfelt prayers. There we go. So make sure you don't miss out on anything. I also send all of my events to be the first to know about any of my card classes. This one was first sent to my email subscribers before it was posted on YouTube or Facebook or any place else. So just so you know. Now in your kit, you would have had a little piece of basic beige to cut these tiny, tiny envelopes that are going to go in the dove's mouth. Well, just one of them, actually. So first, we're going to put a little bit of ribbon here. This is a ribbon trick. I don't know if it's a trick, but it's a ribbon technique I do sometimes when I don't want to tie a bow or a bow doesn't really work. I'm going to just put double my ribbon here to just make actually a little, just a bend. I don't know what you want to call it. Just a little ribbon detail, I guess. Grabbing my scissors. Okay, the way I usually do this is I put a couple of strips of adhesive several because you want quite a bit down. So once you get it stuck, it does what you want it to do and stays where you want it to stay. You get this around here like so. Now we'll get our ribbon. Let's see, heartfelt prayers. So it's going to go this way. Just going to bend it, fold it there, and then I'm going to lay it down on my silicone mat because it's got a lot of adhesive on it. Then I'm just going to kind of place this here like so. And then, whoops, I'm going to pull it up with the ribbon because it doesn't stick to your silicone mat because that's what your silicone mat is made to do, is not stick. But you have to kind of pull it up carefully so you don't move anything. Okay, now that's kind of messed up, but let's get that off. Oh my gosh, I can't, there's a little tiny thread on the end that I didn't like and it just wouldn't come off. All right, now let's kind of stick this down further with dimensionals, make it hold in place a little bit more. So I'm going to catch that ribbon and I'm also going to catch the cardstock. It's pretty important to make sure you've got your dimensional on the cardstock as well as the ribbon or element that you're trying to stick down, because if you just stick it to the ribbon, it's going to not stick your cardstock to your cardstock. Okay, your cardstock to your card. That was a lot of words. Okay, let's go ahead and just center this across. Now you could stop here. You know, you really could. It's really beautiful that way too. But we want to step further, and we have our Misty Moonlight Dove. I'm going to put an envelope in this Misty Moonlight Dove's mouth. And the way I did that is I put a mini glue dot on the dove's beak. So I'm just going to do it like this, because that's about where I want that envelope to go, rather than trying to put glue on this envelope and figuring it out. And then I'm going to just put the beak, can you see that? Like it's holding the envelope. So just on the very, let's do it like this, the very corner. I got to put it in a little bit or it won't stick. Like so. So it looks like the dove is carrying your letter to your friend or your family member, letting them know you're praying for them. All right, this guy is going to go here, and let's see where else. Let's go up here. And then we might want to tack down that envelope to the dove itself. So I'm going to grab a mini glue dot and I'm going to tack that down like that, like so. Okay, then this is going to go up here. So maybe we want a little adhesive. Let's just do our regular adhesive on our wings of our dove. Now I think we're ready to finish putting this together. We'll put some embellishments on it, and then we have our third card of our 8 projects done. Oh, I don't think, do I need this one? Yeah, I guess I do. Okay, so I'll just put this little dove up here in the corner. And now this, oh, we didn't do the inside yet, plus we need our gems, and then we're done. We have a couple more things to do left. Now, just a reminder, I'll be here live tomorrow and Wednesday with the rest of our projects, our Peace on Earth projects for this kit. And if you just started watching and didn't hear me say, there are still 3 kits available. Make sure there's a link below on YouTube, a link above on Facebook. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Let's use glue, just because we're going across 2 surfaces that are different height. The glimmer paper is just a little bit thicker than the DSP. Put this in. I think it's always a nice surprise to have something extra pretty on the inside for your person, your friend, family member, your loved one that you're sending a card to. So there we have it. Now gems. I'm going to put some Misty Moonlight gems on this one as well. Let's go down here. Oh, that's not me. That's Secret Sea. Let's do Misty Moonlight because our dove is Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to look at your comments. So don't give up on me. I'm going to read them. Let's see. I don't think I did put a third one on my original card, but you could, or maybe not. Put as many as you want or as few as you want. I've got an extra envelope I'm going to keep because the die cuts too. And then you have these words that will be so comforting when words really are not comforting, when someone's going through something that they need support for. Here's one. This is our fun fold card. Be typing which is your favorite. You know, that's our rule. When you watch the video, you have to let us know which one is your favorite. Number 2, our sympathy card, or number 3. Or you could type in the Peace on Earth card, the sympathy card, or the heartfelt prayers. Make sure you comment. Alrighty, I'm going to look at your comments. I've missed visiting with you, and I'm so happy you're here. Again, whether you're watching replay or not, I love that you're here. So I'm going to just check your comments. Donna says she hasn't used this bundle yet. She's slow at getting things done because my hip, I'm going to have a hip replacement. Oh, darn. Donna, I'm sorry to hear that. Julie likes the box. And Julie ordered the kit, so she got the gift that I sent with the Oreo. Donna, hi Donna. Hello from Washington, she says. Julie says this is an excellent card. Not sure which one she's talking about, but I know Julie pretty well. I'm guessing she likes most of the cards. Julie is a liquid glue fan. She has trouble with the seal tape. Oh, Stampin' Seal. Yeah, I've used it a lot, Julie. She's talking about these. This is Stampin' Seal. And I actually think Stampin' Seal Plus can be a little bit easier to use. This one leaves a tail sometimes. So when you use it, you have to do a little bit of a check mark to break the adhesive. I don't think about it anymore because I'm used to using it. Julie loves gorgeous cards. You have a few people that needs this one. She said she has a few people that she needs to send that one. Donna likes them all. Jackie's favorite is the last one. Don't you just love this Misty Moonlight sparkle paper? Oh my gosh, it's so vibrant. I wish you could see it in person. Hi Carmen, I'm happy you like all the cards. Angela, you like the Peace on Earth card. It is pretty. I think it's really fun with this fun fold. And again, I've got a couple Christmas cards made. Now I have some others made too, but okay. Now listen, let me bring you back up so I can talk to you. Thanks so much for being here today. And all the tech went well today. I've been struggling with tech if you weren't here at the beginning for a few weeks, but today it went well. I had to do a lot of troubleshooting before. I shouldn't say a lot, but some, because I think I've got everything right, but I did some troubleshooting early on before the video, so I thought I had everything working. So thanks so much for being here with me today. A quick heads up, let me give you a class I do have also coming up. It's called the Jolly Delivery Christmas Stampa Stack. So this is my next kit this is not a craft along, but it is a Stampa stack where you can make 12. I'm going to prep 3 each of these 4 cards for you. In your kit, you get all the DSP, you get gems and ribbon to make your cards. This QR code is a live QR code, so you can either follow that with your camera right now, or there is a link also below for you to register for it. There's a link below the video description on YouTube. So there's that. Now, one more thing, and this is really important. If you are not buying the starter kit, I want to know why you're not, because you get $125 worth of product for only $35. Are you going to spend $35 before the end of October on anything, any crafting supplies? Because if you are, this is by far your best deal. You also can spend $99 and get $189 worth of product. If you want a new die cutting machine, if you have our old Big Shot or any other die cutting machine, I promise you, you will love our new one. It's so smooth and easy, and I've had a couple people join just so they could get that die cutting machine. It's $140. Now, you can't go over $189. Stampin' Up! Doesn't let you do that in the starter kit, so you can't go, okay, I'm going to order $200 worth of product and I'll just pay the extra. It doesn't work like that, so it won't let you complete your transaction. You have to be $189 exactly or under. So just giving you a heads up, I would love to welcome you to my Stampin' Sweethearts team. We have a group of crafters. Very lovely people. They love to share what they're making. They're very creative. They're very friendly. It's a small group. I have about 24 in my group, and I like it small so I can actually get to know people and help them with anything in particular that they would like help with. Most are hobby demonstrators. I don't have very many people doing Stampin' Up! For a business. You never have to demonstrate. You never have to do classes. You certainly don't have to do all the things that I do. You can just be a happy shopper at 20% off for the next through March. You would be able to do that through March. It would be the end of your quarter. Anyway, if you have any questions about that, please message me. No pressure from me at all. So I'm so happy you were here. Let me go ahead and click that off the screen. Thanks for being here. I hope you'll be here with me for the next 2 days where we're going to do more of my projects and Allie's project with this gorgeous Peace on Earth stamp set. Thanks, everybody. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.